you could, I hate to say this on the podcast, you could get a sex change and identify as something else. Like, I know family members who are afraid of the word loan, just afraid of it.
If I stay where I'm at for the rest of the life that I have and never take this jump, will I be happy?
If you don't do anything, nothing's gonna change.
Exactly.
If you're sitting there at a 550 and you
Because
got
of fear.
3 collections on your credit report, nothing's gonna change.
But she's doing it the hard way. Most people won't even think about going to get funding to establish a business or go get a business that's already running. They don't even think about these things, and it's that fear. They'd rather go work for it and exchange that time.
And talking about a safety net, if I don't care if you're a doctor, because hospitals having mass layoffs and shut down. I don't care what it is that you do. Choose your uncomfortable.
Word.
One thing they can't take from you is your own. Welcome back to Receipts Only Podcast. I am Q Dotson. Today we'll be talking about facing your financial fears. As y'all know, we got a lot of clients that's been working with Brother Umar, my brother Dwayne, and Ashton about running the bag up. However, not everyone is actually ready to run the bag up, believe it or not. Not everyone wants to, even though they're in position to get the money, they're not necessarily adverse to what to do with the money, so they're scared. The numbers get too large, and it's a fear. Speak to the client. We was just talking about one of the recent clients that you had.
Well, let's do this. Umar went litigation, knocked off some things off his credit. Knocked some things off his credit. And so Umar sent him me and Ashton's way. I sat down and I had a conversation, and I already heard before we even got into the funding part. Now, this is just the funding part, right? I already heard the animosity, not animosity, but just the fear within her, within him, right? That was, I was just like, you got an 800 plus credit score. What are we talking about? We do it. Me and my wife get 800. We gonna run it up.
Right.
We're gonna do what we gotta do because we understand how to leverage credit. We understand how to go get more money to pay for this. And all this is moving money around. A lot of people don't understand that because they go trade their time for money.
Oh, opium, where other people's money.
Yeah. Why touch your money?
Right.
Why even do that? But we had a conversation, me and Umar, and I'm not here to convince you, right, to go get more money. If I got to convince you to go get more money,
what are we here for?
Right. That's just nonsense to me. But saying that, I think that with the, education that we have and the knowledge we have to put it in terms that they understand. Right? Because when you start talking to people about them trading their time for money, right? They like, yeah, you do gotta.
That's interesting.
Right.
It's degrees in financial literacy. Never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
It is, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And work your way up to it.
So, once they start that and you start to, even as we say, as consultations, right? We say, all right, we'll give you a consultation. That will be something where I'm just educating you. You know what I mean? We ain't even getting into the business, you buying a business, us setting up a corp, us setting up an LLC, whatever it is, right? Now I'm just trying to get you to understand how you can go forward financially with a business, right? Instead of you trading your time for money. Because when you do that, you'll never catch up. Think about it. You put in 8 hours, you come home, you got a whole life after that.
What does that look like? Most people, we just talked about degrees in financial literacy. So someone is in position, they got 800 credit score. They go get the funding, they secure the funding. Now they take that funding, they go buy an existing business. Now the business is generating income, and that business, they're able to pay themselves, right?
Yes, definitely.
Most people can't fathom that thought process, though.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because they're not taught it, right? You're taught, when you go in these schools, what are you taught? To go get
To be an employee, to be a slave.
Go to high school, well, then what? Go to college, get in debt.
Yeah. The American dream.
You know what I mean? And a lot of them don't understand or know college is a business.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a business in itself. Look what your boy Trump did.
$1 trillion business.
You know what I mean? This man had a whole school that didn't have a school. You know what I mean? Think about that. This man had a whole school but didn't have a school.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So anything that they're teaching you, you obviously got to look at it 3 or 4 times. Like, hold on, man. You know, everybody in my family has done this, and how many people go to school or go to college and don't even get a job in a degree? They go there and spend $100,000 as an accountant and go get a job at doing something totally different than what they want.
A lot more people with, I guess, with debt from a school or university than people it is with degrees.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but you want to know what else? It'll take you longer to save up 10 to 20 bands to make a move or make a play happen than to get funding. And most people don't even fathom that part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be easier for you to just go get this funding if you already have the good credit, right? You already got the good credit. It'll be easier for you to go get funding than to stack up, 300 or whatever it is you stacking up 1,000. Even if you're doing 1,000 a week, it's gonna take you 20 weeks to get 20 bands when you could just offer. You know what I'm saying?
What's even more crazy is with Brother Umar, you actually get money to clean up your credit via the litigation.
What do they call it? Bad money and the good credit.
Yeah, bad money and the good credit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Umar, you want to speak to the client?
Yeah, I mean,
experience.
I think that it's not an optional thing. If you want to better your life, you're gonna have to just face whatever fear you created. Nobody else made it up. You just made it up. You know what I mean? You listen to the family member, you sitting on Instagram, whatever. I think that once you reach that point, I think the most interesting thing to me, I'll say this: 80% of getting wealthy is not listening to broke people. So if you're trying to get wealthy, you listen to people I'm not going to listen to a guy who's never made $1 million about how to make $1 million because he's telling me theories.
All right.
I want to listen to the guy who failed his way there. And then I'm going to be like, oh, okay, so this is how it works, and it doesn't work.
Receipts.
That's it. Receipts only. Right? So I think the biggest issue now, which is something me and Ashton talk about, is you have a bunch of people with theories online, and because they have a few followers, everybody's believing what they're saying. Right? So what you have is the blind leading the blind, literally. So a guy will tell you, hey, if you go to this bank, and I'm not going to lie, I fell for some of those traps. You go to this bank, you'll get this much.
We all have. Right?
And it does not happen.
Dwayne said we've been gurus.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Right.
I'm telling you. So I understand people, even when we talking to the guy earlier, I understood his fear because he's like, look, I had good credit before and I got beat. I'm here again, and I don't want to go backwards.
Yeah, a lot of people been scammed, so they're facing the traumas of dealing with.
But for me, the biggest scam in life is sitting still. That's the scam. You're going to be in the same position next year. You scammed yourself.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue. Like, for me, if you beat me out of money, you just create another punching bag for me. I can see how good my right hook is. Yeah. And I can test out some more lawsuits too. So I say that to say that's still a come up for me to an extent. But if I get to 2026 and I look back at 2025 and they look the exact same, that's a scam for me. I scam myself. I can't blame. I can't get on Instagram. I can't blame nobody. I have nobody to blame but myself. And at the root of that every single time is fear. And the only option a man has with fear, I can't speak of women, is to face it.
Right.
That's it. He don't really have another option. There's literally, a man doesn't have an option to say, I'm not going to, he can delay it for a few months or a few years.
They succumb to it.
Yeah, but eventually you're going to have to face it. Or you could, I hate to say this on the podcast, you could get a sex change and identify as something else. You can't cancel me on my own shit. So I'm saying that to say, you either can face what you're dealing with. You either go, all right, so let's just say Dwayne Ashton get you 100,000. You're either gonna flip the 100,000 or lose the 100,000, but either way, you're gonna win because you're gonna learn something.
Yeah.
But you learn with 100,000. The little bit of time I went to college for, I didn't learn shit, and I left with a damn thing that I'm out to sue Nelnet for.
You left with debt.
Yeah, I went in there, bro.
That's what they give you.
I couldn't afford to eat while I was there. Like that doesn't make sense
At all.
So on the flip side, if I go to get funding, okay, if I get my 100 grand in 2025, it's a little bit different, but I could take a 20 grand L if I wanted to splurge on something stupid. Then the other 80 grand, I could actually sit right out a plan.
Right.
Even if I took another 20 on top from that 80 and just serviced the loan for a few months' time, put something together, at least I'm not broke during the time.
Yeah, but you again, degrees in financial literacy.
More.
So you're talking about some concepts that most people never heard before.
That's true.
So break down what you just said, what you just spoke to, taking that 100,000, you fuck up 20.
For me, whenever I get funding, I put aside a part just to service the loan for a few months. So I sit and think. I don't like that. I work well under pressure, but when I'm looking at my family, I'm like, no, I have to put an actual plan together. It can't be some Umar shit, because a plan and some Umar shit is two different things, right?
Right.
So because I know myself, I told you I'm gonna stay with situations because I know myself. So I'm gonna say, okay, let's just say my payment's $1,000 a month. I'm gonna say, why don't I just pay this up for 20 months, and now I have 80 to work with, right? Then I might say, hey, let me take 20 and put it in a high yield savings account. Capital One has one, and so I'm gonna earn 4%. So I got 60 left. So I'm gonna actually move with the 60. So if anything falls apart, which happens in business, I technically only had a $6,000 loan, and I got 20 months to figure this out. That's a long time.
Yeah. Word.
That's a very long time.
Word.
And I'm not going to buy vending machines. It's like some of the things that Instagram is telling people to do with money that they don't actually have is insane. I'll give you another example, right? Everybody was talking about buy a duplex. That is not good financial advice from a person who's never gotten into real estate before.
Right.
They don't even, they don't know the first thing about getting a loan. When I tell you how much money I lost in real estate listening to stupid people, it's like, and then when you do it and you realize this nigga never bought real estate.
Right. Never even did it. That's
what was I thinking?
Yeah, remember I was telling you, dudes that sell courses don't even finish a damn
Don't even
course.
finish it.
You know,
don't even finish.
But you're selling courses on the internet, on Instagram. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
That's why this is created.
In.
But this is why Receipts Only is created.
Absolutely.
For that particular reason. Also, just piggybacking off of what you would do with that 100,000. If you're not familiar with it, life insurance is huge.
Bingo.
Life insurance is guaranteed money. Now it's a long term.
You're gonna die too, so.
But exactly.
Word.
But it's guaranteed bread.
Word.
So
you speaking to legacy plays.
Yeah.
I think we need a grad, like I'm talking about the most grassroots platform where people are taught from. It's not a demeaning thing to start from a kindergarten level.
No.
But
we have to.
Yeah, I think it's needed. But people's egos are so big that it's like, people don't want to admit that. If I don't know something, I will be the first. You've never heard me talk about funding because I don't know the first thing about it. I know nothing about it. I believe in staying in my lane. I believe in that 1,000% because I've lost so much getting out of my lane.
Right.
So I say that to say we need like I'm talking about kindergarten terms because it's not being taught in kindergarten.
Starting with the essentials.
Essentials.
The basics.
What is a credit report?
Right.
Like all the you have people who don't even know what taxes are.
Right.
Like it has to be the most even after Ashton presented, I had people telling me like, yo, I had never even heard that before. So it seems so normal to some of us, but it's really not normal. You know what I mean? Even like I know family members who are afraid of the word loan, just afraid of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying to say we need the most grassroots movement we can think from. I'm talking about all the way from the bottom, like damn near like we talking to our kids. And it needs to build people, and then they have to have milestones to get to the next level. You can't just press a button on a course and get to the next level. No, you got to prove you understood exactly what this person said. I mean, that was part of why Dwayne came up with such a low price point starting out. It was so people who actually needed the help could get. People don't know he's lost. Him and his wife have lost a lot of money, and they haven't actually made money from doing this for people. So I think that is like a step in the right direction. If somebody's willing to make that sacrifice, like, look, I didn't know this at this point, so you can give me $100 and you can learn all of this if you're committed. And I'd say so far, we got a lot of committed people, like a lot. I'm talking about people who have followed the tour, they're present in the WhatsApp group. Yes, Receipts Only WhatsApp group. they present on social media. Like people are like, they're receptive.
Mm-hmm.
I just think we just gotta, it has to be something where it's consistency so they can really, really learn what's being said, because there's so much nonsense out here that's really like,
they're scamming.
Yeah, right.
it's scam. This is why I say, like,
scamming.
my advice to most people when they ask me about money is 80% of it is not listening to broke people about it. The other 20% is consistency and failing, but the 80%, you know how many broke family members I listen to? Like I'm listening to you, and you don't know what you're talking about. You give me financial advice.
Right.
I remember the first time when I was like 22, the first time I actually made some real money, I looked at the account, cried, called my mom. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I said, good things like this just don't always happen to us. My mom checked me so fast, then called my sister, and my sister checked me too. But I said, had I called somebody else, first off, loan me 10.
Right.
That's
right.
first.
Off the rip.
Second of all, he gonna tell me everything he saw on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if you really, really, really want to make money, the first thing you got to do is close your ears.
Yeah.
And surround yourself with the right people.
Right people, who took in L's.
And social media is, I mean, brother, from where I'm from, the town I'm from, right?
Tell them where you from, Dwayne.
Yeah, I'm from Hagerstown, Maryland, right? The town I'm from, these people, they really don't understand credit. A lot of them don't, right? A lot of them don't understand credit. So I was just back.
Yeah, that's all small towns.
Yeah, I was just back there, right? And I was, I was there with my man Dennis. He got the key to the city. Congratulations, D. Scott, 3D. But yeah, it was humbling to a certain extent, because when I left that town, I was a totally different person. You know what I mean? So for them people to see me on the local news, right? On a local news, now they see me on TV on a local news station differently in 2004.
Right.
Right? 2004, they had me armed and dangerous on the local news. Don't approach, none of that. You know what I mean? To come back and to be able to stand in front now with the community saying, hey, I'm back to, honor, or speak for my man and just, bring him to the front for what he's already done.
Growth.
Right? So now people that when I go back, they're like, oh, I want to, how do you travel? How you do? How do you do the things you do? How do you do this? And I explain it's credit, right? I built my credit up, right? And I understand how, again, I say it a lot, leveraging it. Like you got to understand how to leverage your credit. We got to the 800, when you get up, if you get to 800 and you just saying, open up your Credit Karma like, oh, I got 800.
Yeah, being happy about it ain't enough, like Ashton said.
Yeah, so you saying I got 800 and you're not really doing anything with it, I laugh at you, really, because in all honesty, you don't know what you're doing, right? Because first of all, I wouldn't have told anyone, right? I'd have went and did what I needed to do and jumped out there, had opened up 2 businesses, you know what I mean, and did what I had to do. Now, people from my hometown are calling me. They're reaching out, you know what I mean, asking me questions, right? And I tell them sometimes, like, just for some consulting, I get a fee for that, for me to be on the phone with you. I do it all the time. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So now they're looking at it like, hold on, you Puda. Like, I can call you and have a conversation with you, ask you questions. And again, the reason I do speak to them is because I want them to understand, just give them a little general knowledge about credit, about how this can change your life if you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? And I made the mistakes already. So when you come to me, I'm gonna make sure I can look at your file and be like, hey, listen, you need to do this. You need to go get some trade lines. All right, you need to pay your usage down. I can literally look at your file because I looked at so many and say, yeah, you know what I mean? This is what you need to do. And I guarantee I can go get you some money.
Yeah. But a lot of people look at that 800 credit score like they standing on the ledge of a skyscraper. They up so high and just fear hits them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're feeling like, yo, man, if I fuck up this 800, I'm falling off this building, literally. And the fear of that happening is what paralyzes people.
The truth is, if they do mess up, they holler at my man Umar.
Yeah.
It's that simple. But I'm gonna say this: fear is not of God, and you can't create anything while being stagnant in a state of fear. You just cannot.
Yeah, but and you even saying that if you don't do anything, nothing's going to change.
Nothing.
Exactly.
If you're sitting there at a 550 and you
because
got
of fear.
3 collections on your credit report, nothing's going to change. Right? If you don't know someone who knows how to do credit, or even when they do credit and it comes back verified, right? And they don't know how to move after that, you don't listen. You need to know people who can do these things and change your life, right? Because if you can't change your life, brother, you're gonna walk through life stagnant. You'll still be the same person. You know what I mean? Not understanding how this whole matrix works, man.
Speaking of changing your life, Ashton, how would you say once they face those fears, or not even face the fears, while trying to face the fear, what would you recommend someone do from a funding perspective?
Yeah, so in terms of that, I mean, the fear part of it is definitely very real, and I like that you all kind of highlighted different aspects of it. But what I would say to someone who's, in the heat of the battle with deciding, do I go for funding or do I stay where I'm at, is really looking at yourself and asking yourself, if I stay where I'm at for the rest of the life that I have and never take this jump, will I be happy? Will I be okay with experiencing the same life instead of taking a shot at getting more? Because when it comes to moving up the ladder, there's a lot of ways you could do it. It's not that common that you can build enough value in the business for someone to give you $100, $200, $300,000 at once until you really built your brand name. But to get to that point, you got to have some funds to show that I can do this and show it to a lot of people so they can say, oh, now I feel that you're worthy to give you that large number. So I ask you, what's the other option? What else are you about to go do? Because if you could say, oh, I'm going to go get, I'm going to work my job and hopefully I move up the ladder and maybe in a year or two, it'll give me $100K raise.
And they're still taking 30% of that.
Exactly. Which is
right.
It's
non-negotiable.
Right. And y'all are cool with paying taxes because, again, when it comes to getting the funding, yes, you do have to pay the money back, but you can get a large amount of money at once to move up the ladder.
Right.
You're trying to piecemeal yourself up brick by brick, which can be done, don't get me wrong. But the only issue is what happens when the unexpected takes place and what you have set here isn't enough. Then the nonsense starts. Now you're arguing with your wife or your husband. Now you can't be available for your family. Now you're stressed out, depressed, ready to die, ready to commit suicide. Like, that's how serious this is. So when you get into the psyche of this, and that's one of the things that we really want to highlight on this podcast specifically, because so many people, when they want to get to that top level and they look at, oh, I'm just going to get some money and do this, but you really got to go into your core being and understand, what do you want to become? And the funding, the credit, all these things are just a tool to help you get there, right? But it's not like, if you don't work on your inner thought process, if you keep getting caught up in the, well, what if this goes wrong? I have a friend, very close friend of mine. He has seen me go through everything personally. Like, even in the last episode, when I talked about the whole jail situation, he was a part of the bailing out of that. You know what I mean? And he's seen it all. And we just had a conversation this week about building up and getting his business, because he has had a high credit score this whole time. And I'm sitting here like, bro, you playing. And I told him that.
Right.
I went to his house. I said, look, bro, you had a 780 score and you over here working this job because they give you $100,000 and you feel like you're safe.
Right.
Yeah. But not realizing that we could get you $100,000
in a week.
exactly.
Yeah,
And you taking a year to get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's taxed.
I know this girl. It's funny you say that because I know this girl. She live in North Carolina, and I know her from high school. And she just today, coincidentally, put on social media that she's got a business. So she put it out there. She's like, "Have you seen my last post?" I'm like, "Nah." So when I go see it, I see she's established this business. I'm like, "Oh man, you started a business." She like, "Yeah, I've been doing it 3 months, but I finally just published it on social media." I said, "Why didn't you tell me something? Like, I could have helped you." She's like, "How?" She's not, mind you, she's a nurse. She works at 3 different hospitals because she's like, "How you going to help me? I work at 3 different hospitals." I'm like, "You could have got funding." She's a homeowner, owns her own vehicle, paid off, everything paid off. She make money, but she's doing it the hard way. Most people won't even think about going to get funding to establish a business or go get a business that's already running. They don't even think about it. And it's that fear. They'd rather go work for it and exchange that time. Money.
How would that affect someone in that predicament?
Yeah, I mean, it's because when you go and you look at those people who are the entrepreneurs of the world, those people who are risk takers, and I just want to be safe in my little cocoon with my job, and it's always constant. And it really comes down to you don't like being uncomfortable.
Right.
As an entrepreneur, I have been homeless.
Yeah.
I have had to eat out the trash can.
Yeah.
I have been in scenarios the entire journey, even through having success and making money and falling down. In recent times, I've went through different issues and certain things that were supposed to happen didn't happen, and it just threw off the timing of things. And what I've realized is like, you got to be comfortable in the fire. And being an entrepreneur specifically is hard because when you're in that fear mode, you because the reason why you're in that fear is because you think you have to control everything. And you feel like if you're not in control, then something else is in control. And you're trying to kind of play God. When in reality, you're just supposed to play your role.
Yeah. Word.
Damn,
Word.
That's well said.
Yeah, definitely well said, man. I'll tell you this, man. Clients that we speak with that do work, right? And the first thing that I say, and I don't try to belittle them by saying, working 9 to 5, you just, I call them sheep. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, they like, well, what does that mean? Blah, blah, blah. I said, because you just fall in line, right? The 8 hours that whatever you given, whatever the company you're with, they're teaching you a trade skill, right? Something, whatever it is, customer service, whatever it is, right? Because that's what we do. We do customer service too, right? But one thing about us is we do it all, right? We do the customer service. We do whatever product that you want. We're going to make sure you get that done, whatever funding it is, credit repair.
But the biggest difference is you do it for yourself.
Right. Right. So now,
we're talking about freedom.
Freedom, right? So now I just free up a lot of, and think about this, when, as a human being, right, it's not, they built this to where we go somewhere for 8 hours, right, or 10 hours for someone else and work, and then take 30 to 25% of your income, and then build a 401k that's garbage.
That's a government savings account, by the way.
Right. You know what I mean? But people that don't have the knowledge or the understanding fall what? They fall right in line like sheep. No different than the jab. I'm gonna leave that alone though. You know
I don't condemn people who are doing what they gotta do. However, you should always be thinking about the next move, thinking about the next step. You do have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You have to start somewhere.
I agree.
Even with Brother Umar said we have to have more grassroots. Even with your financial literacy, you may not know how to get the funding, or even if you do, you may not be ready to just go out and get the funding with your current credit report.
Right.
Or whatever the case may be. But you got to start somewhere. And the way that you start somewhere is by getting connected to the right people that have receipts. Not people that claim to be the truth and false claiming out here and misleading people and lying to people. and one foot in front of the other. Focus forward, educate yourself, join the communities, and after that, I think it's just dedication.
Yeah,
just dedicate yourself to it.
And if you do get on social media and you like an influencer, ask questions. Like, don't be afraid to ask questions to these dudes, man, or these females, man, because at the end of the day, if they're selling you a product that they haven't done, right? Ask that question. If they say they do this or they whatever they choose that they do, ask. Just make sure that they done it, they completed it, and say, "Oh, well, you have some clients I can speak to," because we do.
All right, ask one of the people in the room because we haven't met them all.
You know what I mean? Like,
see if they got receipts or not.
Yo, but I got a personal friend of mine who unfortunately recently just got a 90-day late payment for his student loan, and one of the things he was very troubled by, his credit score tanked like 80 something points just from one day to the next. And obviously he was filled with fear. He was like, he didn't even know where to start. And I spoke to him about Brother Umar and some of the things that, some of the services that, or the help that he provides. And most people have that fear and it just paralyzes them. To the point where
fear.
I had to kind of like tell them, yo, bro, if you don't do anything about it, nothing will happen. Put one foot in front of the other and attack it little by little, day by day.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do nothing, they ain't going nowhere. It's going to be staying.
Yeah. And you don't have to have all the answers. That's
Never.
That's what these gentlemen are here for. You do not have, you're seeking the answers. We're only suggesting, because even if you don't do it here with receipts only, at least go to someone who's tried and true. Preferably with receipts. And it's really that simple. These gentlemen can show you the receipts. They have the testimonials. Is what you see is truly what you get. And I think the price point, because you're getting a full-blown experience, come out to the show and check it out. You owe it to yourself. Because if you can't pay $99, I'm assuming we're going to keep the price at what it is, I feel like it should be a lot more.
Yeah. I mean,
but
we get into that. But
if you can invest $99 into yourself, not only to change your life, but your family's life, the life of your legacy, and learn how to face those financial fears, learn how to get some financial literacy, and truly just change the trajectory of your life financially, which ultimately, it's not all about money, but it sure as hell helps.
What?
Yes,
makes things a lot easier. You know what I mean? And we actually passed this whole thing in it. So just like you said, if you financially stable, good, right? That relationship that you getting into, that you want to get into, right? You want to make sure that person is the same way. That way now you're not pulling someone up. You know what I'm saying? You're literally coming together as a team. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot easier. Believe me. You know what I'm saying? And going in now, if you get with someone, and their credit's not good or whatever, but you have the knowledge, just assist them and bring them up, man. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, I think too, it's like with this, whether it's relationships or even just credit as a whole, all of this stuff requires some level of calculation, requires a level of planning. But I just think that, there's a different part of the person that has to break past the lack of desire to be uncomfortable. And it cracks me up because, like, there's so many people I talk to and I've dealt with celebrity clients, people at the White House, the Pentagon. I got all different levels of people. And in reality, a lot of them are in the same spot.
Exact spot.
It's crazy.
They just got a government job.
They say 85% of Americans got bad credit.
Yeah, I had a client that had 8 million followers online. If I put the name out, y'all know exactly who it is.
I know you're talking about.
And
I have seen that page.
Yeah. This person decided to, we got them some funding, and from what I understand, they decided to put that into what's the Lamborghini truck?
A Urus.
Yeah, I forgot. A Urus. And this was not for that. The type of funding we got was not for that at all.
Right.
So they want to just lease it.
And it's like, because what happens is, when you get to that certain status, you start to develop an ego of like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I know what I'm doing, I'm not listening. And the same ego people have at the lower level when they come in and they're like, well, you're telling me to do this, but how do I know you're legit, or how do I know you're real?
Right.
It's not
following the process.
Exactly. Because all of this stuff is a process, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to jump and be okay with being uncomfortable while you jumped, because once you get past it, when we get to the credit, when we get to the business side and we start coaching you on how to acquire businesses or get into the real estate side, if that's what you like to do, all that's doable. But you're trying to go into this high level lifestyle with a low vibration because you're so afraid to be uncomfortable. And my last point on that is just me being in LA and going through being homeless, living in a hostel, bed bugs everywhere. I was at the In-N-Out and I had to, like I said, eating out the trash can. That whole experience, it took me to a dark place where I said to myself, this is when I decided to learn about credit.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And I said, I'm going to learn about this because my credit was bad. I couldn't get an apartment, couldn't buy a car, I had nothing.
Right.
And I was like, I've got to build it up. So in that time, from building and falling and failing again, building again, failing again, I realized that it doesn't really matter what you do, like in terms of whatever obstacles y'all try to throw, not y'all, but I'm saying the game of life.
Or
when you get to a place where it doesn't matter how hard the obstacle becomes, you could do this, you could do that, you could take this away, try to throw this at me. I've got to a place of I just don't care anymore. And I'm comfortable in the war between wealth and poverty. And at this point, it's like, I love the war. And that's, for me, where I would like to help, as we go through all the information that we're all talking about, is helping the clients become comfortable in warfare so they can then get to that next level. Because the second that you get too comfortable, things start going wrong. And in that comfortable space where, you know what, it's good, you're probably in the wrong space because you always got to be elevated, right? So that's my main thing, is get to that place of fearlessness, even when you got this problem, that problem, even when this person's doing this or that situation's going on, being cool in the war, knowing that you have yourself. And for me personally, I feel like the combination of me and God is unguardable. I don't care what obstacle comes up. And I live in that.
Like Kobe and Shaq.
Live in it.
But a lot of people think of it and they feel uncomfortable when the uncertainty of having bad credit. I'm saying that's an uncomfortable feeling, right? It's uncertainty. Some people get anxiety, but it's also an uncomfortable feeling to go to war. So what uncomfort do you prefer?
Choose your uncomfortable.
Word. And it's not only like, there's a lot of the things that I've learned from this conversation with you brothers is that it's also a process. You know what I'm saying? It's not a magic pill. There's going to be some losses you got to take. Like, look at all the losses you spoke about take in terms of being homeless.
I know those don't even sound like losses to me.
Right. Yeah.
It sound like lessons.
It's a growth opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. But most people also have been gurued. Some people come out here and paint this picture that's unrealistic. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
There's too many highlights. And I think that as a man, one of the most important things a man has to do is not remove fear, but to remove the illusion of safety. There's no such thing as being safe. You are safe with your door locked as you are on an aircraft. It's just whatever God wrote at the moment.
Word.
No human being is safe.
Word.
Absolutely.
Or you can be making $500,000 a year and then they fire you tomorrow.
Right.
I've made millions of dollars a year and fell off the next year.
Absolutely.
Like, nobody's
seen
safe.
it time and time again.
Yeah, it's no such thing as safety. Once you get that out of your mind, you can operate totally different.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, talk to any person that's in business, they all talk about peaks and valleys.
Right.
The difference with social media is you're seeing nothing but highlight reels.
Exactly.
The founder of Instagram, well, who owns it now, Mark Zuckerberg, will tell you about peaks and valleys in his life right now as a billionaire. But the people on Instagram make it seem like they never took a loss.
Right.
But while we're talking about Mark Zuckerberg, I mean, even Facebook just had a mass layoff, right?
Yeah.
Google just had a mass layoff. Microsoft just had a mass layoff.
Yeah. The government has had a
The
mass
government
layoff.
just had a mass
No
layoff.
such thing as safety.
It's no such thing. And talking about a safety net, if I don't care if you're a doctor, because hospitals having mass layoffs
Yeah.
and shut down. I don't care what it is that you do. Choose your uncomfortable.
Word.
One thing they can't take from you is your own.
Word.
They can always take a job. Choose your uncomfortable. My suggestion is get the finances in order. Get your funding. Find a recession proof business structure that's something you can invest in. Even when times are hard, that business is still gonna flourish. And just get at it, man. Change. Like I said, change the trajectory.
If it doesn't, file bankruptcy.
Look, hold on, man. My man Umar said everybody should get 100,000 and blow it.
And blow because I want people. I try to really put this into my son, like removing the illusion of safety. Nobody's safe. I don't care how much money you have. You know, you can love somebody to death and then God takes them out. God's the only safety net. You're on a flying rock in the middle of nowhere talking about being safe. There's
When you get another opportunity, your credit report, you know, they hold these 3 numbers and people have so much fear because of these 3 little numbers, not knowing you're in full control of your credit score.
Yeah.
You manipulate it however you want to. It's just the lack of financial literacy. It's the lack of education. It's the lack of resources. However, receipts only have them for you. Come out to an event. We're about to be in New York soon. Get your ticket early. For some lucky members, you'll be able to ask your questions on the spot. So I suggest you even get your ticket early, but get there early. And we have a few things in the making for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of things gonna be rolling out. We get ready to roll out the website. To me, at this point, man, if you want to live stagnated, right, you'll continue to go
Live in fear.
Yeah, that's how you're gonna live. You know what I'm saying? If you want to live stagnated, you know what I mean? If you want to, just to live comfortably, you know what I mean? For y'all to even be here, think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you really, if you want to get out into the world and see what this is all about.
In closing, in less than 1 minute, how do you get over financial fear for you?
I dive in. I'm not putting one leg in the water. I'm not putting the arm in the water. You know what I mean? Now all I'm doing is just wasting time at that point. You know what I mean? I'm gonna dive in and understand what I'm doing when I'm diving in, because it's all a risk. Nothing. Listen, man, nothing that you dive into is gonna be perfect for you. You know what I'm saying? There's always gonna be something that comes up. Period. Like you could clean your credit, and next you know somebody else buys your debt. So now they go put
it right
back on there. You like, I just got this all 3 months ago. You know what I mean? So now
I witnessed that.
Yeah, now that's gonna piss me off. So guess who I'm gonna call? Umar. Because I'm gonna go get that. I'm gonna go sue the ass, and they never gonna come back on again.
Brother Umar, what is facing your financial fears?
Putting your trust in God and blowing $100,000. Yeah, people act like God runs out of money. It hasn't happened yet.
Right.
Hasn't happened.
Currencies change, and he keep pushing out more. If you believe that,
The faith of a mustard seed.
That's it. Remove the illusion of safety.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I would say, breaking past that fear and all those little, details is really just getting to that place of like being cool, as I said before, in the battle, in the war, and deciding that it has nothing to do with whatever circumstance life throws at you.
Word.
You could take away this, that, you could do this, or whatever it is. Instead of going through life thinking about what's happened to you, you need to happen to life.
Word. I agree.
When you get to that place of you're happening, it doesn't matter if you can do this or whatever, it doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? So I just feel like as a people, and all people, be okay in the battle.
Be okay in the battle.
Being okay in the battle. And don't ever doubt yourself due to a hard time.
Brother Lou.
Yeah, I'll say I think it's taking it one day at a time and tackling those issues, whether it's things on your consumer report or even going through litigation with a company. I think that going to go get your own receipts. So
For sure.
you ain't gonna be able to do that if you got no receipts for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You window shopping, you ain't never gonna be having a receipt of proof of purchase. In this case, your own receipt will be the action that you take to address those issues that are hindering you from getting to this next level, or to a level where you want to accomplish your own goals, whatever those may be, because everybody got different goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say just be mindful that fear is not of God, and if you don't do it for yourself, at least do it for your legacy.
100.
You owe them that much. At the end of the day, you messed your credit up.
Word.
Don't make your kids suffer by your stubbornness. I'll leave it at that.
And don't put your kids' social on cable for the cable bill. Fucking them up already.
Word.
Knowing you ain't gonna pay it.
Knowing you ain't gonna pay the goddamn bill because I got the mega boxes. Right?
Shameless plug. This is receipts only. We'll get with y'all soon.
Peace.
Peace to the gods.
Peace.